Hi, I'm here with my colleague Mariano Gaut. And Mariano, originally this conversation was going to be completely about the convertible market, but over the last couple of weeks, we've seen a rebound in activity across all of equity capital markets. And I'll start, by talking about the IPO market, and then we can talk a little bit about the other products on our desk and what we've been seeing. And, over the last couple of weeks, we've seen just a ton of activity. We've seen 23 transactions priced to raise close to $12 billion. But importantly, from a broader ECM perspective, we've seen some signs of life in the IPO market. 2 weeks ago, we had two insurance deals, which priced well and traded up well in the aftermarket. And then we had the eToro transaction, which priced earlier this week, launched at $480 million at the midpoint, ended up upsizing the transaction and pricing $2 above the high end of their range at $52 a share to raise $620 million. It traded up in the aftermarket almost 29%. And more importantly, what we saw was that fundamental buyers showed up in force to participate in this transaction. The top five was a who's who of your traditional long-only buyers. And what we've seen from that is a number of other IPOs come off the sidelines and look to go public in the next couple of weeks. Hinge Health, Mountain, Chime, all have filed publicly or launched transactions. And we're seeing a lot of activity in the TMT sector, a lot of clients getting processes started again, selecting banks and moving forward with org meetings and drafting sessions. What have you seen on the convertible side over the last couple of weeks, and how do you think things are going to play out as we move forward here?
Yeah, we've been equally as busy on the convertible front. We saw a very slow April in terms of issuance, given all the volatility in the market and the sharp decline in equity prices. But we knew that the moment that equity prices recovered and volatility subsided even slightly, we would see a flurry of convertibles hit the market. So we saw a deal about 10 days ago basically reopen the market with the deal being upsized, roughly 2x, and pricing way through the marketing ranges. This week, our client Alliant Energy came to market with a transaction that was equally as well received, pricing at the midpoint of both the coupon and the premium ranges. But again, a very, very robust, good investor demand for converts. We are expecting activity in the convertible market to increase significantly beginning this coming week. Again, taking advantage of the fact that volatility can be translated into greater savings for coupons now in this market, that even before this last wave of volatility, saving for some issuers multiple hundreds of basis points in terms of interest expense versus traditional debt products.
Right. And when you think about the types of uses of the convertible product, what are we going to see in terms of refinancings of all the 2020 and 2021 COVID era convertibles? How do you see that playing out over the next couple of weeks as people think about upcoming maturities of those convertibles and what they need to do to recapitalize their balance sheets?
I think that's going to be one of the themes that we're going to see, because there is a number of issuers that were delaying the refinancing of those converts until the very last possible quarter. Those quarters are coming up, and it's going to be this quarter, next quarter, the fourth quarter. So we're definitely going to see a lot of that refinancing wave hit. The other topic that is of interest to issuers now is tying the efficiency of concurrent share repurchase executed funded by a convertible. As we know, when companies issue converts, there is an amount of shares that becomes available given the natural hedging activity that happens around converts, and that becomes a very efficient and immediate way for companies to buy back larger amounts of shares. We're seeing a lot of companies think this way, and we expect them to take advantage of the market opportunity.
And Mariano, similar to the convertible market, we've seen a lot of signs of life in the follow-on market over the last couple of weeks, particularly with sponsors selling down in the aftermarket. This week, we saw 4 transactions that were 2023 and 2024 IPOs that traded well in the aftermarket. Some of them had done previous follow-on offerings, but this week we saw sponsors come to the market and sell down incremental positions in those companies. And the nice thing about those deals is all 4 of them were multiple times oversubscribed, traded a nice filed offer discount and also traded well in the aftermarket. And that, again, going back to what we talked about around IPOs, around convertibles, all three of those products are working well in the market right now, and that bodes well for a lot more issuance over the next couple of weeks, particularly when we get past Memorial Day, having been through Q1 earnings, and expect to have a clear path until July 4th. So just to wrap things up, we're expecting an incredibly busy summer across all three products, IPOs, follow-ons, and convertibles. So to the extent that you're thinking about accessing the equity capital markets, please reach out to your Mizuho representative so we can get you the best solution possible.